And it says like this, Vayeishev Yaakov be'eretz megurei aviv be'eretz Canaan. Yaakov dwells in the land of his father, the land of Canaan. And Rashi points out over here that after going through all of Esav, the Torah, the last part of the section of the Torah talks about Esav and his entire family. So then it goes to Yaakov Avinu. Now, take a look. I want you to see something in the middle of the Rashi over here. It's in the right column of Rashi, 8 lines from the top. Right column of Rashi, 8 lines from the top. So Rashi is right in the middle. You see there's like in the art scroll, there's a, what's it called, a bracket. And then Rashi says, Dalet Aleph stands for Dover Acher. And Rashi says an interesting mashal, a parable. Vayeishev Yaakov. What do we learn from Yaakov? Dwelled in the land of his fathers. Hapishtani hazeh. A pishtani is like a flax merchant. He's peddling flax, or pishtan I think is flax. Nichnesu gemalav te'unim pishtan. He's got camels loaded with flax. Hapechomi tama. The blacksmith started wondering, Ana yikanes kol hapishtan hazeh. Where is all this flax going to go? I mean, it's a lot of flax. Where are they going to put it? Haya pikeach echad meshiv lo. One wise man said to him, Nitzotz echad yosei mimapuach shelcha. One spark will come out of your bellows or whatever it is that blacksmiths use. Shesoref es kulo. It'll burn the whole thing up. What's that got to do with us? Kach Yaakov rod kol ha'alufim aksuvim al Yaakov saw all of these princes that the Torah just mentioned, last 43 psukim in the previous parsha, that talks about all of Esau's family and princes and all these important people. Tama v'amar, Yaakov said, Mi yochol lichbosh es kulan, how can he possibly conquer all of them? Maksiv l'mata, what does it say later? Eila told us Yaakov Yosef. The Torah goes on to talk about Yaakov's descendants, Yosef. V'ksiv, and there's a pasuk that says, V'haya beis Yaakov, Eish, Yaakov's house will be fire, Beis Yosef, Lahava Yosef, the flame, Beis Esav, Lakash. Nitzotz, they'll be destroyed. Nitzotz, Yosef, Yosef, one spark will come out of Yosef, Shemechalav Esoref Eskula, burns up the whole thing. Nothing to worry about. The Nitzotz Echad, one spark comes out. So unfortunately, we explain, okay, on a physical level, obviously we fight the Esavs. But remember what we said, that Esav represents the evil inclination. A person could be stuffed up with all sorts of flax. A person could be stuffed up with Esav. How do we got so much Esav in us? How do we get it out? One little flame, one spark of Torah, one spark of Ruchnis, that's all we need to ignite it. People have come from backgrounds, from the worst places. One spark is all it takes. A person changes. You burn out the whole thing, you change. A guy just asked me 2 nights ago at the other yeshiva, how do you get rid of all your thoughts from the past? How do you get rid of all your thoughts from the past? Everybody's got a past, whatever people did in the past. How do you get rid of all that garbage? The answer is, there's only one way to get rid of any thought. You know how you get rid of any thoughts? Let's say you're davening Shemona Esrei. In the middle of Shemona Esrei, you get sometimes you get a distracted thought. Sometimes you can even have inappropriate thoughts right in the middle of Shemona Esrei. How do you get rid of those thoughts in the middle of Shemona Esrei? Well, I'll tell you what not to do. Don't sit there and think to yourself, stop thinking about it, because that's the fastest way to think about it. The best way to get rid of an inappropriate thought is simply, your mind can only occupy one thought at once. Your mind can only occupy one thought at once. You got one thought in your mind, simply shift your mind to a different thought. You're in the middle of Shemona Esrei, and next thing you know, you're in Denver. Right? You're in the middle of Shemona Esrei, next thing you know, you're out in the ride, you're out skiing in Denver, in the middle of Shemona Esrei. Just shift gently back and start thinking again about the words, and therefore there goes Denver. In life, the only way to get rid of the past is by filling ourselves up with Torah. The more Torah we learn, the more we forget about all the nonsense. That's the only way to do it. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that talks about a person who has learned Torah. What happens if you forget your learning? Let's say you've learned Torah. What happens if you forget your learning? You know what the Mishnah says? Somebody you've learned, it says what? It's as if you forfeited your life. Hey, my goodness, I learned Torah and I forgot it. As if I forfeited my life, I'm better off not learning. Then I certainly won't forget anything. Then the Mishnah says, yeah, but this only means it's not your fault if you forgot it, because you learned it, you couldn't remember it. But if you sit down and actively remove it from your mind, then you forfeited your life. Gentlemen, I got a question. Can you show me how to actively remove thoughts from your mind? How can I actively remove Torah from my mind? Not to review it, not to do chazorah, even more than that. The more you get involved in other things, it pushes the Torah out. So if it works in that direction, it works in this direction too. The more nonsense I've got in my head, the more Torah I accumulate. That pushes that thought out. That's the way it works. So Yaakov Avinu is what he called. Yaakov Avinu is dwelling in the land, and this represents how a Jew attacks, and the Jews come from the worst places. Could change. We've seen over and over, Jews have come from terrible, terrible places. Elah told us Yaakov, these are the descendants of Yaakov. Yosef ben Shvas Reishana, Yosef is 17 years old. Hayeroa esechav batzon, he was a shepherd with his brothers. V'unar es b'nei Bilav es b'nei Zilpa neshei aviv, and he was also a companion, a youthful companion to the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. Remember, Yaakov had the two maidservants, so he took his wives, Bilhah and Zilpah. Vayave Yosef as dibosam ra'el aviyam. Yosef brought a negative report about his brothers. He saw them doing things that he felt were questionable, and his intention was that his father should muster them out. The brothers didn't appreciate. The brothers saw him as a snitcher. The brothers saw him as a tattletale. And this begins a certain animosity between Yosef and the brothers. Yosef, they feel that Yosef is the kid who's trying to ingratiate himself with his father by bringing back the tattletale, he's going to be the goody-goody, be the teacher's pet. Whereas Yosef has nothing to do, that was none of Yosef's intention. Then Yaakov Avinu does one other thing. Let's take a look at Pasuk Gimel, and then we're going to elaborate. V'Yisrael ahaves Yosef b'kol banav. Yisrael loved Yosef more than all of his sons. Ki ben zekunim hulo. Literally, it means a child of his old age, but in the real context, it means he's the most talented of the brothers. He's got the greatest potential to carry the torch after Yaakov Avinu. V'osalo kesones pasim, Yaakov makes him a cloak of many colors. How does the article translate it? A fine woolen tunic, right? The kesones pasim, it's got all these colors. So, by the way, I just read an article, this was really fascinating, about a guy in America. They have a show on TV where you go to one of these guys who's an auctioneer, and you show him some of your old stuff, and once in a while you have some old something or other that he tells you is worth a lot. So on the show, there's a rerun. They're running a rerun of this show, and a guy comes over to him. He shows him a blanket, a beautiful woolen blanket with a lot of different colors inlaid, and the auctioneer immediately takes a look at it, and he's having trouble breathing. He says, "Where did you get that blanket?" He got it from an older man. A man's in his 70s. "Where did you get that blanket?" He says, "My grandmother gave it to me. She said that it was given to her grandfather by Kit Carson." You heard of Kit Carson? Carson City is named after Kit Carson. He was one of the big Indian fighters. And this was apparently an original Navajo Indian antique blanket. And it turned out it was worth a good few $100,000. There's a guy watching this show on TV. He's watching this rerun of this show on TV. He's living in a motorhome somewhere in a motorhome park. And he's looking at that blanket. He looks on a shelf. He's got a blanket like that too, which eventually sold for $1,500,000 at auction. And this guy was broke, absolutely broke, and he sold this blanket for $1,500,000 at auction. So Yaakov makes a beautiful cloak, a cloak of many colors. Now, 2 points over here. I want to show you 2 themes in this parsha. Theme number 1, you're going to have what turns out to be almost a comedy of errors. One mistake after another mistake after another mistake. Mistake number 1, Yosef snitches on the brothers. He misinterprets what they're doing, and he thinks that they're doing something wrong. Mistake number 2, Yaakov favors Yosef. Mistake number 3, the brothers hate Yosef even though his intentions were good. Mistake number 4, Yosef tells his dreams to his brothers. That's just what you want to hear. For the kid that you hate, now, "Hey guys, I had a great dream, I was ruling over you." Oh, that's a wonderful dream, right? Mistake number 5, Yaakov sends Yosef to go check how the brothers are doing, right? It's one mistake after another. It's like a comedy of errors. But it all leads to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's plan. It all results in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's plan that Yosef should become a king in Egypt, and the brothers should go down there, and then Yaakov Avinu should come. That means you got one mistake after. You've heard of Rabbi Matisyahu Solomon? He also has a Mashgiach in the Lakewood Yeshiva. He says this idea. One mistake, another mistake, another mistake, another. It's like one after the other. Everybody's wrong. You're wrong, but boom, you end up with the right result. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is manipulating. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is running history. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is manipulating things. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants that there should be a result, he's going to bring about the result. Whether we do the right thing or the wrong thing, one way or another, he's going to move us to where we have to be. And right, one way or another, we're going to get there, whatever the result is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to get to. And here you have the classic example where the entire destiny of the Jewish people rests on a series of mistakes. Had it not been the mistakes, it would have gone a different way. You made mistakes, okay, we'll adjust your mistakes and move it around. We'll move it around. One way or another, you're going to end up in the right destination. Okay? Did it ever happen to you that you were driving and you took the wrong turn? You had to make a few wrong turns, but you ended up there anyway, and sometimes even faster than you would have gotten there. Yosef goes off to look for the brothers. I'm just skipping ahead, but Yosef goes to look for the brothers, and then on page 202. Line 5, fifth line on page 202. Yosef is wandering. Vayimtza'ehu ish v'ni'inoiso ebasada. A man finds him, and Yosef is wandering aimlessly. He's wandering in the field. Vayishaleu ish le'mor ma tevakesh. The man says, what are you looking for? Vayomer es achai anochi mevakesh. Hagidan li efa imroim. I'm looking for my brothers. Tell me where are they grazing? They left here. The man tells them they're in a place called Dosan. Who is this man? Rashi says? Not Eliyahu Navi. The angel Gabriel. The angel Gabriel. Isn't that providential? Yosef is looking for his brothers, and you happen to find the one man who knows where they are. Isn't that how providential? The answer is yes. You're meant to get there. Kodesh Baruch Hu is going to make sure you get there, even if it means sending an angel. Ramatisiyahu Solomon says even more than that. Every single person you meet in life, whether it's a bus driver and you met him for a second, or it's the owner of your makolet and you see him every day, or whether it's your father-in-law, every single person you ever meet in life is all predestined. Every single person was put there for a reason. No accidents. They had a guy here. There was a guy in Israel. He was visiting from America. He'd never been to his grandparents' grave. Grandparents were buried on Har Menuchos. He's never been to his grandparents' kever. He's a working man. So he came to Israel, and he's staying in his grandparents' apartment. Living in Beit Vegan. They have an apartment that they were never sold. He's staying in the apartment. He's here for 2 weeks. So he goes down to the cemetery. By the way, never go to a cemetery if you don't know exactly where you're going. You go wander for hours. And he goes down to Har Menuchos, and he's looking for his grandparents' kever, and he can't find it. He's there for an hour wandering, I can't find it. Okay, gets in the car, gets in a cab, he goes back home. A few days later, he goes down there again, and again he can't find it after an hour. Okay, trip's coming to an end, he says one more chance. He goes down to Har Menuchos, he's wandering around for an hour, and after an hour, he still can't find it. So he gets into a cab, he hails a cab, he says, okay, take me to Beit Vegan. I need a Beit Vegan Street, number 17. So the guy says to him, which apartment? He says, well, it happens to be apartment 9, but what's the difference to you? I just need address number 17. He says, what are you doing there in that apartment? Actually, this is Israel, we're very informal here. Cab drivers can give you a grilling, What do you do in that apartment? He says, well, as a matter of fact, my grandparents lived in that apartment, and they passed away. And as a matter of fact, I went to see their kever just now, but I couldn't find it. Guy turns the cab around and he starts driving back towards Har Menuchos. The guy says, well, what are you doing? He says, I'll take you to your grandparents' kever. He says, how do you know my grandparents? He says, Beit Vegan 17, apartment 9, right? Yeah, the gold bombs, right? Yeah. He says, how do you know? He says, because I was secular, and I met your grandfather once. We're wandering, he started a conversation, he invited me. I used to go to your grandparents' house for Shabbosim periodically. I became frum, and I visit their grave once every half a year. I'll show you exactly where their graves are. All right? That's a Gavriel. Now in Israel, nobody's impressed because this happens all the time in Israel. In Israel, this is just standard operating procedure over here. Everybody's got one of these in Israel. Every single person you ever meet has a specific task in life, and he was sent there to be something he's going to play a role. That's what Ramatisiyahu Solomon says. They had another guy. There's a guy who's a bookseller. One of these traveling booksellers. He had a van. He used to travel around the country selling books. So he was in, what's it called, Rosh Ayin. Rosh Ayin. It was a city near Tel Aviv. He was up in Rosh Ayin. And he's driving around, and the guy comes out, a lady sees him on the street. The guy's from. The lady says, hi, you're religious, right? She looks like she's panting. She's out of breath. Yeah. He says, can you do me a favor? Can you come up to my house? I have a house full of guests. We have a Chanukah Sabayis, and we need somebody to put up the mezuzah. I don't know how to put up the mezuzah. So he says, sure. So he goes up to the house. There's a house full of guests over there. Secular, all secular, Israeli, traditional Israelis. Puts up the mezuzah, puts a couple, okay, thank you, goodbye. 3 weeks later, he's again in Rosh Hashanah. And he made a wrong turn somewhere where he went against an arrow or something. Cop comes over and stops him. Says, sorry, buddy, you made a left turn, an illegal left turn, I have to give you a ticket. Says, oh, great. Cop looks at him and goes, hey, I know you from somewhere. Says, where are you? I know you. Weren't you here a few weeks ago at a Chanukah Sabayis? You put up the mezuzahs? Yeah, he says, yeah, that was my mom. I was there too. I just wasn't in uniform. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Just stop making illegal turns. Yeah, it's unbelievable how often this happens. It's unbelievable. It happened to me in Chicago once. I was driving on my back tail light was out. Cop stops me on Crawford Avenue. I never got in a moving violation. Cop stops me, and a young cop, and he says, hey buddy, your back tail light's out. So of course I pretended I didn't know. So I get out. I said, really? And I get out. Look, he sees my yarmulke. And like a knitted yarmulke. He says, hey, you know Cantor Mendelsberg? I said, yeah, I play ball with his son Barry. We're good friends. He's the cantor, my synagogue. Okay, get the taillight fixed, will you? And off you go. There was Gabriel. My angel Gabriel was there. So that's what Rabbi says. Every single person you meet is going to be somebody who was put there. Now, let's take a look at another point here. Very important. Yaakov Avinu makes Yosef this ksonis pasim. And look at on top of page 200 what the brother's reaction is. Vayiru echav ki Yosef avavi, and the brothers see that Yaakov loves him, mikol echav, more than the brothers. Vayisnu, so they hate him. V'lo yachlu dabra l'shalom, they cannot speak to him peacefully. Now we learned 3 things here. First of all, the Gemara says never favor one child over other children. Never favor one child over other children. That means one of the hardest things for parents is that some of your kids, whether parents will admit it or not, some of your kids, you love them all, right? You love all your kids. Some of them are simply more likable than others. Some of them are more selfish, and some of them are more giving. Some of them will do what you say. Some will give you some lip. Some are just more likable than others. Whatever the case is, never favor one child over the others. Never favor one child. The Gemara says because Yaakov favored Yosef, this brought about the exile to Egypt. Never favor one child. Could be you have to treat them differently. And sometimes children feel you're favoring that child and you're favoring that child. I'm not favoring anybody. Each person has to get what he's supposed to get. Each child has to get. Never blatantly favor one child over another child. I never liked the idea, by the way, of rewarding kids at the Shabbos table. Sometimes, I don't know if you've been to Shabbos tables where kids, sometimes their parents reward the kid, they give him a candy because he asked a good question on the Parshat. I never liked that. Because then, I'll tell you why, because then the smarter kids are going to come out better. The kids are more scholastic, are going out better. There's more to life than grades. So this kid's a better student in school. Yeah, but this kid may have better mitos. So my family, we never did that. I give the kids, if one kid does something good, I never rewarded for at the Shabbos table. I never rewarded for scholarship. Never rewarded for Shabbos. It's not a Shabbos, it's not a classroom. And once in a while, if a kid does something really exceptional, really with good mitos, I'd say, you know what, everybody, he was just mizakeh the rabbim. Everybody's going to benefit because Yitzi did a mitzvah, so now everybody's going to get an extra toffee. Something like that. Yeah, that everybody gets one now. It's all because of him, that sort of thing. But not to pick out one kid in front of the other kids. You don't want to do something like that. Now, especially rewarding them for the scholarship that I never liked, possibly because I wasn't a good student in school. I never, why don't they reward us for sports? No. Yaakov Avinu rewards Yosef, number one. Number two, Rashi makes a very strange statement here. The brothers hate Yosef, they resent it. Look at him, he's a tattletale, and now he gets now he gets a ksonas pasim. But take a look at Rashi. Rashi explains to us what it is, page 200, second line from the top. Pasim, loshon kli milas. I guess kli milas is some sort of silk or some sort of material. Kamo karpas utchelos, which it says in Esther. Megillas Esther talks about how Achashverosh decorated the party. Okay, now. Ukamo ksonas pasim. Now. Umedrash Agada, third line. This is a critical point. Umedrash Agada. Al Shem Tsarosov. This ksonas pasim is called pasim because of the troubles that Yosef is going to have. Shenimkar le Potifar. He's going to be sold to Potifar. That's the pay in pasim. Vila Socharim, and to the merchants. That's the samach. Vila Yishmaelim, and to the Yishmaelim. That's the yud. V'la midyanim, that's the mem. So if you take the first letter of those four things, Potifar, Socharim, Yishmaelim, and midyanim, it spells out pasim. That means pasim is an acronym for these four troubles that are going to come to Yosef. It's not necessarily in that order. Page 200, Austin. It's not necessarily in that order, but that's going to be the trouble Yosef is going to have. Okay? You know, that's cute. Great, that's what pasim. Now I'll remember who Yosef got in trouble with. Pasim, Potifar, Socharim, Yishmaelim. It's a great mnemonic. It's a great. Remember I was telling you about mnemonics the other day, the bad eggs? Yesterday I used a mnemonic in Hebrew. I go to a different school, and they have one of these punch locks in front, and they changed the combination. So I asked him for the new combination. So he told me the new combination is 3154. So I have to figure out how am I going to remember 3154? So I always translate it into Hebrew letters. 3 is a gimel, 1 is an aleph, hey is a 5 is a hey, and daled 4 is a daled. So in Hebrew, it spells out kind of like go ahead, right? Which is exactly what jihad. Yeah, no, I didn't think of that. No, I didn't think of that. I thought more in terms of go, gimel aleph go, and hey daled go ahead, right? Which is exactly what I want to do. I want to go through the fence. But once I forced it, then when I left, I didn't even have to resort to the what do you call? I just remembered 3154 because it had etched further into my memory. That's what happens. And if I have to, then you remember the mnemonic. Okay? So over here, what's that?
What's the name of the passage?
Midyanim, the Midianites. Okay, great. So we're told. So what? Rashi's telling us the Medrash. Remember, this comes from the Gemara. So what? Okay, that's what it stands for. What's the lesson here? Obviously, there's got to be a lesson. Telling me for fun, you're telling me what it stands for. I mean, honestly, what's the significance of that? The answer is, which we've spoken about in the past as well. What happens as a result of Yaakov giving him this garment?
Jealousy of the
Jealousy. You're jealous? You're jealous because Dad gave me a cloak, so you're jealous? If you knew and you could see everything I'm going to go through with this cloak, you sure you would want it? You sure? You know what this cloak means? Potifar. Yeah, but people say, yeah, but it ended happily ever after. Oh yeah? You sure you want to go through that? You want to go through that beating and torture that he went through for the happily ever after? You think you would have survived it? If you'd see it in a bigger perspective, you wouldn't be so what do you call it? See it in a bigger perspective. Imagine Sarah Imenu. The commentaries point out, she's beautiful. She marries Avram Avinu, right? She gets married young. Don't you think everybody would be jealous of Sarah Imenu? Sarah got, if she's beautiful, married to Avram, she must be the envy of every woman on the street. If every woman on the street would have seen, she's going to be taken by one king, she's going to be taken by another king, she's going to be childless for 80 years. You sure you want that? You sure you want to go through the pain? Right? Everybody would like to be a doctor. You want to go through medical school? I'd love to be a doctor. But there isn't a chance in heck I would go through medical school. Not for that. It's not worth it to me. Right? Don't be so jealous. If you let a ksanas pasim, yeah, you want the ksanas pasim, you want all that? Are you willing to put in the pain? You're really willing to put in the pain that it takes? If you're willing to put in the pain, you'd be putting in the pain right now. I'm jealous of my friend the doctor. Sure, he's making more money than me, so I'm jealous of him. Well, you could have gone to medical school too. Oh no, I couldn't have. Oh no, not me. Right? Not even a chance. Right? It's not worth it to me. I knew that doctors make more money. Wasn't worth it. It just simply was not on the cards. Therefore, don't be so jealous. You see somebody, don't see how it's all going to play out. Heard about a woman who was deathly ill. She's on her deathbed. 16-year-old daughter is there. Says, "Mom, why you? Why you? Nice woman, frum woman in her 50s, has a beautiful family. Mom, why you?" So her mother says, "I want to tell you something. I don't know why we have to go through this. I'm sure Hashem has his plan. But one thing I can tell you, when I was in school, I was the most popular girl. And I never said, why me? And I was the first one to get married. I have friends who to this day aren't married. I never said, why me? I had children right away. I have friends to this day don't have children. I never said, why me? Now when things are going wrong, I'm not going to start saying, why me either. Right? Why me? I don't know. Kosh Baruch Hu's got a plan. But one thing is clear. You don't see the whole picture. So there's nothing to be jealous of. You don't see the whole picture. People are jealous. You don't see what a guy went through to get here. what's his name? You ever hear of Lou Ferrigno? The Incredible Hulk? Heard of Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk? So they once saw an interview with Lou Ferrigno. I read an interview with Lou Ferrigno. They asked him, so how did you become so muscular and wise? You know, well, I don't know about the wise, but certainly, you know, became Mr. Universe, you know, with his bulging muscles. You know, how did you do it? You know what Lou Ferrigno said? He said, I pumped iron in the weight room until I passed out from the pain. You ever do that? The only time I've ever almost passed out from pain intentionally is when I've been at a $20 all-you-can-eat. Right? That's about it. Right? Never in the weight room. Never in the weight room. Yeah. You willing to do that? You willing to do that? So you're looking at him now because he's sitting there flexing his muscles. He's making all the money. Yeah, but what did he go through to get there? You ever hear Pete Maravich? Oh, come on, guys! You got to get cultured, man. I can't teach you everything. Torah is what you got to know stuff, guys. Aren't you watching what he called it? What's it called? Discovery Channel. I mean, where have you guys been for 20 years? So Pete Maravich was a star basketball player who also happened to drop dead at the age of 40 on a basketball court. But he was a star basketball player. So they asked him once how he was not only it wasn't a star as much as the razzle dazzle. He had all sorts of shtick with the ball. He was the magician with the ball. Pete Maravich. What's that?
What team?
He played for originally the Atlanta Hawks, and he went to New Orleans Jazz. But he's got films on. They got films on. You could go online and get Pete Maravich's basketball clinic and see the stuff he does. I remember one time watching one of the things he does. He's got a full extension pass. He does like this. The ball goes in that direction. Full extension, like this, because somehow he's using his pinky as he does a full extension. He's pushing the ball with his pinky, and the ball goes in that area. Full extension. It's not like one of these. It's a full extension, and the ball goes rolling that way. And he even says on the thing, "Don't try this at home, kids. This is a hard one." Something like that. Now, they once asked Pete Maravich, "How did you do it? How did you become so good?" You know. So he said when he was 12 years old, he was playing basketball 8 hours a day. His father, who was his coach, his mother committed suicide, possibly because of the father. But his father, who was the coach, would have him lie across a car with the doors open. And he had to dribble the ball lying down on the car seat. He had to dribble while the father changed speeds in the car. So he had to learn how to change, do it. But then when you see the results, you say, okay, I know where this came from. I see where this came from. So now you're jealous? You're jealous? You sure you want to lie down in a car with open doors? Right? You understand, the whole thing is, you look at the whole picture. I had a guy here who told me there was a guy here in the yeshiva told me he knew a girl from Florida State, one of the universities in Florida, who made it to the United States Olympic swim team. She made it to the United States Olympic swim team. She told him that, this is what he told me, that she told him that between the ages of 9 and 17, there were 4 days that she was not in a pool. You want to make Olympic swim teams? That's what it's going to take you. Because if you don't do it, somebody else is. If you want to do it. But don't then look at her standing there getting a medal, not even getting a medal. She didn't even get a medal. Right? That's what it takes. That's what it takes. So the Sonas Pasim stands for all the difficulties that Yosef had. Now there's another lesson here where the Torah says the brothers cannot talk to him. Now we learn a very important lesson here. The brothers cannot talk to him. How did the article translate it? Peaceably? I would say civilly. I would say civilly is a more accurate in the context of what the Torah is trying to teach. They couldn't talk civilly to him. So Rashi points out when it criticized in the criticism, we hear their praise. What does that mean? How could it be criticism and praise at one time? No, criticism is not always praise. It could be. No, you're not so far off. The best way to criticize a child is to say to a child, the best criticism for a child is to say to a child, a boy like you doesn't do that. Then you've praised him and you built him up while you're criticizing him. A boy like you doesn't do that.
You're higher than this.
Because you've picked him up. You've elevated him. You picked him up. A boy like you doesn't do things like that. A boy like me, that you're picking him up while you're criticizing. He has to be taken to task. But while you're doing it, it's not just, you know what, you're a no good Nick. Right? You're never going to amount to anything. No. What you're trying to do, a boy like you doesn't. We expect better from you. Very rarely will people challenge you and ask why. Why? Why would you expect better from me? I'm such a loser. Why would you expect better? No, people are, a boy like me. I guess I must be something. That's the criticism. But here, the praise is like this. They don't like Yosef. What do you do when there's somebody you don't like? And I'm sure that there have been people in your life that you've met, maybe even me, who you don't like them. But when you see them, you conduct yourself, there might be somebody in the office who really rubs you the wrong way, somebody at home, somebody somewhere, yet you put on a false front. Comes along the Torah and says, you don't like somebody? Don't put on a false front. You don't like somebody, make it clear that you don't like him. Make it clear you don't like him. Again, I don't know exactly where the line is, otherwise none of us will have any friends. But if you really hate somebody, don't pretend everything's okay. They didn't talk to him at all. Not that they said, hi Yosef, good morning, how are you? They didn't talk to Yosef at all. Didn't talk to him at all. I don't like you, so I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to like you. I don't like you, but I'll pretend that I do. Don't be false about it. Don't pretend everything's okay if it's not. Don't pretend everything's not. Now, Yosef, what's that?
It's also rude as well, because you're kind of like hiding.
Right, that's exactly what the Torah is saying. Correct. So what does Yosef do? Now Yosef makes another mistake. And again, we have to understand that we're talking about Yosef at Tzaddik. How can he make a mistake like this? Vayomer Aleihem. Vayachalom Yosef, second line from the top. Vayachalom Yosef Chalom. Yosef has a dream. Vayaged le'achav, he tells his brothers. Vayosifu otzno, so this adds fuel to the flame. This helps them to hate him even more. Vayomer Aleihem, Shimonu hachalom hazeh shechamti. Listen to this dream, guys. He's talking at the breakfast table where a bunch of brothers won't say. He's got 11 brothers sitting around. Nobody will talk to him, but he tells them a dream. We're binding sheaves. My sheaf stood up. And all of your sheaves bound down to mine. And a great dream to tell people who hate you. And what's their reaction? What, you're going to rule over us? So they added even more hatred. So then becomes the question, and what was his hava mina? So what was Yosef thinking here? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? Anybody want to take a shot? I know you don't like me.
He's only 17, right?
He does. He
It's
must
like
try.
what 17-year-olds kind of do,
Yeah, we ascribe a little bit. Imagine Alex doesn't like me. I want to change that. Hey, Alex, remember the time in algebra when I got a 97 and you got a 43 and all the guys were laughing at you? I'm sure they'll just warm my way into his heart.
Yeah, that's true.
And what were you thinking? What do you think?
Maybe he was trying to give them a lesson by saying that if you act the correct way, then you'll get good things too. Not bad. But okay. I have to think about that. A very interesting take. So the Mefarshim explained that Yosef feels that the way you break down, let's say there's animosity between us. One of the ways to break down animosity is I want to show you how close I feel to you. So I share my deepest, most intimate secrets with you. So Yosef says to the brothers, okay, listen, I got to do something about this situation. I'll share a dream. Okay, it happens to be the wrong choice of dream. There is more contained in here. Yosef's trying to tell them, listen, the fact is I'm going to be the ruler, and therefore if Dad is favoring me, there's a reason over it. That's what he's really trying to do. He's trying to, okay? But the commentators say, I'll share something intimate with you. I'll share something. It just happens to be the wrong. So if I would come and say, hey, Alex, I had a dream. I saw you winning the lottery and just giving a lot of tzedakah. Oh, maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. Yeah, but not if I say, hey, Alex, I saw me winning the lottery and you begging me for tzedakah. Now you're going to love me, right? It doesn't work that way. That's an unfortunate. Okay, we'll see tomorrow, how this plays out.
Yeah.